party started.
Hashtag this. Oh, that's my new.
There you go. Dirty South coming to you live. There, got my man. He's awake, not asleep. There, Nats man, introducing us. How's there? How you doing tonight, Carlos?
It's going all right. It's actually been busy for a Sunday. I had a little bit of work left over. Well, usually I'll leave work until Monday, but there was a big pile of it. A lot of people decided at the last, those folks, the last minute on a Friday, they're like, oh, right. Can I get, listen, I'll look at it later. But I also don't want to have a big pile of work on Monday. So I was like, I'd better fix it.
So we got Carlisle. My Mets played pretty well today, it looks like. I saw the highlights. So in the highlights, something I've never seen before, and it has something to do with the new netting at ballparks. So a guy for the Mets hits one, actually a guy that he just called up, Ewing, hits one down the opposite way down. He's a lefty, hits it to right field, pretty much down the line.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy in right field is running over to his right to pick up the ball. He picks it up to throw it to third, and he hits the pole that's holding the netting on the corner of the fence where the fence jets out down the third base line.
Okay.
To get closer to the outfield, right?
Yeah.
So I've never seen, and it hit the pole and bounced back towards shortstop, where shortstop would be playing. And I've never seen that. I don't know what they called a dead ball. I don't know.
Well, they're gonna have to have some kind of a ground rule for that.
Yeah.
So it'd be whatever the ground rule is.
I don't know if they have one because it's in foul territory.
Well, I think. Look, listen. My Blue Jays lost the World Series because they didn't think ahead to have a setup with a gap between the bottom of the fence.
Right.
Like, so I'm sitting there like, you better think through these things. Think about this stuff because Scott, there's enough games that almost everything possible will happen at some point. The ball will bounce off some surface. You better have a ground rule for it.
Yeah. So, so it was Mike Yastrzemski, who I like, with an error for hitting the netting pole. So did they call it a dead ball, or is that like going in? It was the ground rule is tough shit. Oh,
that's probably the ground rule in a lot of places. Yeah.
Yeah, because to me that's like throwing it in the stands at that point. But I was like, okay, that's a first for me seeing that. So yeah. But anyway, I'll take it. It helped. Anyway, we can get a win and against the first place team. So I think one game was rained out or rain shortened. I don't know if they're going to finish that battery. You could tell me. I know Friday night was not a complete game because I did not see a score. It just said rain out. I know it was in a rain delay. It's like throwing it in the stands if it had seats next to second base. Yeah.
Well, I think my argument would be like, I don't know if you could call it a dead ball because the ball stayed in play. Like even after hitting it, like the ball never left the field. It actually stayed in the field and then bounced into the field. So it's still in the field.
I know if they overthrow one of the bases and it goes into the net, that's out of play.
Okay.
So
yeah, but I guess it depends on whether you consider it hitting the net or hitting the pole.
Right. I was like, and coming from the outfield, right? It wasn't like shortstop backhanded overthrow it and Steve Saxton into the second row.
Yeah. Since the ball got dinged into the field, I kind of want to call it. I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah, I guess because the pole was in foul play. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the way I would see it too. I wish I would have saw it live, but can't.
Yeah.
But
that's where you got a little bit open to interpretation. You could make an argument. You could make a couple of arguments, depending on what you want to do.
Yeah, I'll give it to my dad and let him make the final decision tomorrow. So
there you go.
Let old Pops do it. That'll be a new one on him too. So Yeah, so that was kind of funny. Nerding out with cars. We got what's happening. Need to
Mhm.
get you on, brother. I don't know if we're friends on Instagram or not. We need to hook up on that. I love to have battery on as well. Um, Great collector. Love his intro. I was surprised Walt Weiss didn't object to lobby for a ground roll double or something like that. Yeah, but it was after the play, so he threw it. He should have actually, if it went into the stands, it's 1+1. You get the base you're going to plus one more. That's kind of the rule at first. You're running the first, you overthrow first, you get first and second. So, but they'll figure it out. I'm sure that's what they went. Oh, now what do we do? They'll go to like they do a lot of rules. It seems like I'm not on Instagram, but yeah, most definitely, man. I'm sure we got mutual friends that have our number. That's how I got another number Friday night. So we'll get that done. But yeah, definitely. And your Cardinals are playing pretty good ball. So always nice to see. As much as I do not like the Cardinals, if I were the Mets, I'd write a grand roll. They're more likely to do it next. Yeah. We got Zach. Hey, Zach. Carlos here to make sure Scott doesn't skip out on these Sunday night streams. Now he's officially back. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. So yeah, been a busy weekend myself. I mean, I've kind of gotten into the selling game pretty hard. I am selling enough now, Carlos, on the eBays where I can just go, I don't want to work this weekend. I don't need the overtime. And I'd rather sell a card or two than sweat a little bit and cost.
I always knew one day you'd finally accept your final form as flipping Scott 35. I knew what happened.
the flipping game. Sooner or later, I'll run out of those cards, and hopefully, I won't don't need to work those times. But it's been nice to rather do that. And I don't know if you got to see the video today, but I got that the football signature series from Topps, signature class, excuse me.
Okay.
From Topps. It's a new one. I'm gonna let you see this and let you give me what you think. What this card, if I can do it right here.
On the bottom, you just have to click yourself. There's a little box beside you. You have to click it other way around. Otherwise, you get to see me. That's fine. But
yeah, I remember. Oh, there we go. Yeah. What does this card remind you of?
There's a couple of 90s sets that actually had a very similar type design. I almost want to I've actually seen some Topps Pristine with the logo in the background that have a little bit of that, but the second headshot is a little different. Maybe like a showcase, like a Flair showcase, maybe.
I was thinking Upper Deck SP. It's not as thick stock.
Okay.
But I love this card. I opened it. I was not looking to get, because I have not seen this open. That's why I decided to get it was $29.99 for a blaster. I looked today, it was like $2 something for a hobby box, so not too crazy for a hobby box. Not like Topps Chrome is still nuts at 600 and some. But man, I really liked it. I mean, this is
for a retail product. I actually think that's a better effort. A lot of the efforts have been a little bit lame, but that's a little bit better. I prefer the other design. I like it with the logo in the background and the white contrasting the black.
Yeah, I feel like that's a better look for that.
Yeah, so, that one not so great. I like the logo thing. The logo thing I think works better. The black and white contrasting, I actually think that works pretty good.
Also, something because the thing is like they're telling you on their side like what pick and round they were.
Okay.
And something I've never seen before on any card. Yeah, here we go. Undrafted.
Oh, nice.
I was like, because that's in football, there's only 7 rounds. So there's a lot of guys that are undrafted. That's not a big deal anymore. You know, they'll call around and it's hard to get somebody to be the last pick now because they rather be undrafted than be picked sometimes. So
look, that's where you look. If it was me, that's where you could have some fun. You have undrafted. I would be like found on the side of the road.
That's right. That's right. He spent 2 years in jail. Penal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. We got Paul here. Seems like a lot of people are already in save for national mode. I do that year round. I have an account where I put money in, but that doesn't stop me from if I want to go to a show, if I found something that I want. It doesn't stop, something that I'm like, oh, I better get it now. I just put it there because that is when I buy my I talk about vintage stuff or very high dollar stuff because I want to see it in hand. I don't when I'm going to spend that type of money, I don't really want to buy it on eBay unless it's from somebody I know. Yeah, SPX almost. That's what I had in mind. Yeah, Nerding Out says SP were killer sets. They are. I like that white, nice clean look. I love that, man. A little portrait in the back. At first, I thought it was they had that football one where, like, say it was like a picture of one of the newer quarterbacks for Dallas or something, and they were like had a picture of Roger Staubach in the back of it, like. They had that picture for a while.
Yeah, that was Illusions.
Illusions. There you go.
Yeah, I opened some of that in 2018. I actually thought I like those cards. They're pretty good.
I do too. I really like those. Let me show you this one.
Yeah, you got Jordan Love there.
Jordan Love, really nice. I love the Green Bay all white.
They just wrote the pack on the side of it. Is that what they did?
Let's see. On the side, it says the pick. And it's got like
the pick. Okay, yeah, I just couldn't quite make it out. Okay, the pick, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, man, that's a beautiful card, a little chromey and shine, man. Really,
yeah, you got some shine going. That's not bad.
Yeah, I was, I opened it on camera today, made a video because I didn't know about it. I don't collect a lot of football, so I don't look for it or pay attention to that stuff. Hey Jeff, how you doing tonight, buddy? Let's see, Paul. That's why the road to the National so long. It's time it takes them to save up. Yeah, Zach. That's and now you're not saving up to spend at the show. You're saving up to go to the show. I have Andy's video saved to watch, and I have not watched it yet. I really want to watch. I meant to watch it today. Man, I hope he makes says what he wants to say. Feels good about it. I know I saw the grin at the beginning. That's awesome. But that the Nationals, well, any destination right now is expensive to get to. So staying's not too bad. If you depends if you want to be bougie to eat or not. If you got to have your chocolate sticks or not. That cost you. Thank you, Brian. Gave video like, hey everyone. Brian, do you make I haven't seen a video from you this week. I don't think. I'm trying to remember. Man, I found a new channel today. He said something on my Saturday chat. Man, trying to remember. I try to make a mental note, and of course that works about as well as anybody. But his thing is making blogs. Him and his wife together collect. She does Hall of Famers and stuff, and they go to ballparks together and do vlogs on going to ballparks. Very cool. Very cool. He's only got a few videos, not even 100 subs. I'm gonna get y'all that name of so y'all can check him out. Eric also pays for the like button here, so use early and often. Yeah, at least hit it 3 times.
Facts.
Or 5. Just don't hit it 2 or 4. I wish they gave me my subscriptions in the order I got them. That way would be at the top, right?
It probably would be, but yeah, they don't. That isn't something I would hold my breath out on.
Yeah. Let's see here. Was I thought it was J and S, but it could be L and S. Yeah, L and S Baseball Adventures. Because he said something today that I was very impressed with, and his video came out one day ago. It's his birthday, his presents. Uh, he has some nice, cool things. He doesn't just collect cards. He's got stuff like you have over there in your thing behind you, and bobbleheads and porcelain dolls and stuff like that. Some cool stuff. And he that's a great channel. I believe they're in the Tampa area. I think so, but man, he's been in North Carolina a lot because a lot of the games at minor league parks in North Carolina. But yeah, he said he got packs from the 80s and early 90s to open up. People call it junk wax, but to me, I call it wax because they're baseball cards and I love them and they're not junk to me. I like that. It was for emo Scott. That was very sentimental. I was like, yeah, that is my prime for me, mid to late 80s, early 90s. That was my teenage to early 20s when baseball was a very good release and a way for me to get out of reality. I talk about that a lot. So, yeah, I y'all check them out. They have, it's got 92 subscribers, only 22 videos. So he very, very cool little intro and baseball family, man. So that's very cool. But I really enjoy that. And, we always in bat want to call things with it. I mean, it was, it's a lot of cards then. But I also, I don't know if you saw my Saturday or got through it all, but so one of my players that I'm looking for, Carlos, is Carson Bench for the Mets, rookie.
Okay.
They made his card. He is the Vlad Guerrero of this set. He's not no numbered, but they made him a super short print variant of another player card. So the only way you can get it, I forget what player it is, but he's a variant of that player. So I looked at, they're going for around $150 on eBay for base, and it's not base because it's super short. So it's a fun chase, and I understand why they do it. But for people like me, this is supposed to be I don't know. I'd rather you do that with legends, not with somebody that's a rookie this year that somebody like me is looking for. I mean, what do you think on that?
Well, I understand the sentiment, but like the card company's job is to try to create the perception of value. So you got to find something in there. Make it. If somebody pulls one, then it's actually a bigger deal than if it had just been printed normally. So it's a double-edged sword. People Scott, just to think about it this way. People complain when they open the boxes and they get the cards and immediately the cards aren't worth anything. Like there's, they spent, and the blaster boxes are getting more expensive and these hobby boxes are getting more expensive. And you get these cards and, you spend $200, $300 and you get $5 worth of cards. Well, then this card, if somebody pulls this card, it actually has some value coming right out of the block. So it actually, oh, hey, you didn't think it was a big deal, but actually you did all right. You did fine on that particular pull.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I understand the chase and excitement. And, it's like the bat down, the Acuna and all that stuff. But we had another Acuna, and Nerding Out with Cards is making a great, because he has the same issue of one of his rookies in this in Series 2. Why couldn't they just make a base card and then image variations? And this is what I think they're going to do, like they did with Acuna and Vlad, is they'll have a base card of his rookie in update with the debut card as well. So they'll have two cards. And if the pro debut one is before the regular base, I guess that's the rookie card per the 10 Commandments. I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out still, but so that's where we're at with that. So I understand why it makes it fun. Carson and St. Louis are two huge baseball places where people collect their players, and two bigger players. Yeah, Warren, no big problem. And I meant to text you, and if you want to come on and it's just 30 minutes, 20 minutes, whenever you need to get off, I understand. Usually 9 to 9:30 is when I'm done. So this isn't Carlos's Friday night. So my brain was jacked up for second shift. It's still, oh yeah, I understand. I was on second. I used to work swing shifts. I'm on first now. I love it because I get up at 6 in the morning, so I like to be in bed by 10. And I'll still get up before 6. So yeah, no problem with that one. Some housekeeping there. That's who I was talking to was Warren. And Warren, I hope didn't I got your number through a mutual friend that I talked to Friday night on another channel, who was Carlos's channel, from somebody who was on there. So hope you didn't mind that. But anywho, what's up, Doc? We're 20 minutes in now. Are you introducing a hydration break into the show? Am I? Am I supposed to?
I don't know. Maybe you should sponsor it. There's an opportunity here. So I was actually going to use an example kind of to what you were talking about a minute ago. Mm-hmm. So I think, and I get it. I think, though, that I'll watch a lot of videos where a lot of folks will talk about stuff like what you're talking about with that rookie and the short print and everything. So I'll give you a different example, just same idea. One of the things that I was watching when I was looking at a couple of the WWE Cosmic, so the Cosmic Chrome, they decided to utilize the Planetary Pursuits, which is one of the inserts that they've been using in the Topps Chrome Cosmic the last couple of go-arounds. I didn't try to look at it too closely when it first showed up, but then I saw it and I was like, actually, these look pretty good. And then I realized in the 2025, Vlad Jr. is in the insert set. So I was like, okay, cool. Okay. And I think cars look nice. So I don't know if you're too familiar with these ones, but basically they take the 10 planets, well, and Pluto, if you don't consider it a planet. To me, Pluto will be a planet. It was a planet when I was a kid.
What do they call it now? What do they call that now? A rock? What do they have a name for it other than planet?
Yeah, I know they came up with a different name for it, but like to me, it's a planet. Scott, it's a planet to me. Okay, let's just for the sake of this conversation,
it's a planet. It's a planet.
Yeah, it's a planet to me. As far as I'm concerned, it's a planet. My point is this: all the people in the checklist have 10 versions, so they're 10 variations of the card, and they're one for each one of the planets. So it starts with the sun, and then they go all the way to Pluto. But each one is progressively more difficult. The odds get longer and longer and longer.
Yes, yeah. I know exactly what you do. Yes, I know that concept. Yeah.
So here's the thing: I don't mind, but if I wanted to follow this path, I could complain. Well, how dare you have this? Because Pluto, in the example I have, I actually grabbed the checklist and put it into my little notepad thing that here I got the computer. The Pluto is 1 in 28,000 packs, Scott.
Holy shit!
So that means the print run of those is going to be pretty low, which means people are going to ask for a lot of money. But here's the thing. So that means it's not a 1 of 1. It's not. Like, there are copies available. Like, it's possible. But 1 in 28,000 packs means it's going to be pretty short printed. The exact amount, they didn't do the print run, but you can figure out it's tough to pull. And people are going to ask for a lot of money because of that. So the likelihood is I'm not going to buy the Pluto card. However, that doesn't mean I can't get most of these. And to be honest, I've already picked up the first 3 from the sun on. And right now, Earth is the most common version left. And that's 1 in 1,200 packs. That's not an easy card to pull either. And then progressively, the price will increase as you go. So I'm going to try to get the best possible deal that I can. And my goal, Scott, is to get as many of the 10 planets as I can. If I get 6 or 7 of them, that's fine. That's good enough. I'll just have the 6 or 7 of them, and that'd be kind of fun. Cool. Awesome. Sounds great. But the point is, Scott, so should I not do it because I can't get all 10, or because getting all 10 would be difficult because of the price point? Should I complain that they have the audacity to have a really tough card to pull that, by the way, they're going to ask for a lot of money if I try to do it? Is that what I should be doing? Or should I just, Scott, you know what? I'll get as many as I can. If I can get an amazing look, Scott, if somebody does a buy now best offer and Pluto is like $200, I'll hit the buy it now and call it a victory. But
Right.
I'm not counting on that. I'm not worried about that. It's okay if I don't. The collecting doesn't mean you have to finish every project. Sometimes you can try it. My goal is to get as many as I can. I know there's 10.
Right.
I'll try to get as many as the 10 as I can.
I don't. I know. I know they like to put RC now on everything, and Top started doing this back in when that big class came out of NXT 2017-16 with Charlotte Flair, Bliss, and Owens, and all these guys came in. To me, there's no such thing because we all know I know the Indies is not WWE, but it's not minor leagues like baseball either. So, especially if they come from WCW or AEW, I mean, for a while there, ROH was getting pretty big with where a lot of these guys came from.
Yeah.
So
this is a philosophic. So the Wrestling Card Father, and I know you messaged me. I'll get back to you. Reply back. I know you sent me a message on Instagram the other day, so I'll reply back to you. But this is a valid question. It's something that has always been an issue. The problem is with wrestling, it doesn't work. As far as I'm concerned, my opinion, I don't think there are rookies in wrestling. I think rookies don't apply here. It's not the same thing because you could make the argument that somebody's first like fully released whatever, but the problem is what's fully released. The all-in set that predates AEW, so that's kind of this thing. And the problem is it's not exactly, it's AEW-ish. It's not really, it is and it isn't. And then there's a lot of like indie talents that were in that set. So like MJF has a card there, but he's also got a Limitless card, and he's also got this. But for some people, so is it when Upper Decks first created the set? Is that the MJF rookie, or is it when he was in Limitless, or is it when he was in this all-in set, or? And what if the gimmick changes? What if you've got an Isaac Yankem DDS card, Scott? Is that the rookie, or is it when he's Kane?
Well, that's what I was going to bring up was like these guys like what's his that was the OG Americano in
Chad Gable.
Chad Gable, thank you very much. You know how I am with names right now. Chad Gable. And that's why I have you here, Carlos. Keep me with names straight. Chad Gable's had like 3 or 4 different things in his run. He's great at all of them. So I mean, Ziggler, he started out as on the Cheer Squad or whatever.
The Spirit Squad,
yeah, Spirit Squad. There you go. So there's these different, like you said, they get a new rookie card when they change. I love this question, and it can change, and it's up. That's one of those ones that's individual thing, and if 2 individuals agree on it when you're selling it, more power to them. It's just hard.
Like I said, that's why I say, for my opinion, my easiest, I don't even count rookies. I'm not. Right. I don't consider anybody, because wrestlers can have multiple gimmicks sometimes before something takes off, and if that's the case, then what are you going to do? The character's rookie, as opposed to look. Try as you might, Husky Harris is the only one that I acknowledge. Right. I have no idea who the other guy is. Husky Harris is it.
Yeah. When he was with what was that? The Nexus or Next or whatever they were called.
It's only Husky Harris. There's no one else.
That's right.
I wonder what happened to that kid.
Man. But anyway, because I watch a lot of different wrestling. I watched 3 shows yesterday. I watched NWA, MLW, and then I watched AEW last night. And there's wrestlers you'll see in 2 or all 3 of those shows during the day. So it's tough to. But I love that question, wrestling.
It's a good question. Yeah.
It's a good question. And Warren agreed. Warren, I usually go by the first card period, regardless of the name change, but that's me. There you go. That's one of those things. Music cards have this problem too. The Pink Floyd rookie isn't the band that you think of as Pink Floyd. Mm-hmm. That's the 72 Panini first card. So, and also, do we have to have a rookie of everything? Do we?
Scott, I take it a step further. I don't think we need to have a rookie for sports cards. Rookies don't need to exist.
Whatever.
Abolish the rookie card. Abolish it.
I love because it does make interesting conversation and all of that. But I'm sitting here. I went down a rabbit hole for Slipknot today. I really like Slipknot.
Sure.
and
Yeah.
all the different people that have been in and out of that band and back again and passed away and all that. You know, which iteration is the Slipknot? The one that started, the one that won the Grammy, which one is it, the one it is now? So that's kind of what it is. Walt Disney RC.
Yeah, there's a couple that people consider that one to be.
Yeah, I've heard that with Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, and that's the same issue. Anytime you have a character, whenever somebody has a character or a person or a historical figure or whatever, because for some folks, there's historical figures that were dead long before cards were even a thing. Yes. So if you make a card for them a tobacco card for them,
yep.
Is that a rookie? But that person was long dead before this card even existed. So
and that's true, because when I go to shows and I'm starting to purchase and learn more about these pre-war non-sports cards, because I kind of want to pick up some of the military ones. I kind of am looking at like state flags and stuff. Some things interest me, and people of that era, like pop culture people. Also boxing. Kind of was looking at some boxing stuff. But anyway, back to what I was getting to. I can't really look at that. I just kind of look at who it is and what's going on. When somebody starts talking, oh, this is their first card. You're telling me it's Robert E. Lee. That doesn't matter. He was dead or just about dead when his first card came out. So, but the South was gone. It was when you're putting him as a Southern general or whatever, or George Washington cards, stuff like that. Somebody asked me, let's see, Warren. Somebody asked me what my walk-up song to Home Plate would be today. I told him it would be the instrumental to Tool's Sober. Oh, Tool's Sober. Okay. Yep. Okay. You want to be rocking out when you go up? That's okay. RC equals money. So yes, I get that, Wrestling Card Father. I should have been more. I should have qualified my answer to that, but just trying to identify whatever they believe are the first card of this person. Yeah, that's honest wrestling card. That's what I said. It's a great question, and I kind of look at it. You know, I am in the camp of, do we need them now? I get sucked into it too, Card Father. I'm shortening your name, so I'm not going to say the whole thing every time. TWCF. This is the way I kind of look at it. I do get sucked into it. So, like Owens, I loved Owens when he went to WWE for ROH. I was a little bummed, but I understood. But I followed him. Sami Zayn. I fell in love with Finn Balor. So when they got their rookie card, not only did I got their NXT first cards, I have their rookie cards. A lot of them was in that 85 vintage. You remember they came out? They had the vintage card Topps did.
Heritage. Yeah, it was Heritage.
I meant Heritage. A lot of them in there, man. And I got some graded. I got some in the album. I do understand that. Yes, there is one that's considered a Winnie the Pooh rookie Doctor exclusive. Yes.
Reject the shackles of the rookie.
I don't
card,
know
Scott.
what it is off the top of my head, but I know it's one.
Scott, reject the shackles of the rookie card. Don't let it hold you down.
Is there an American flag or Titanic rookie card out there? Well, supposedly the first American flag cards were in that, what were they? The 1 cent packs that had pieces of gum in it, like turn of the century cards.
Oh, there were tobacco cards and flag cards before that. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know if
that's right. They were flag cards because I have.
There have been a bunch of flag cards, yeah.
And there's a lot of America, because the nationality cards were huge back at turn of the century. Yeah, Dom, it would. And believe me, I've seen some uniforms. I've been in arm's length away from Robert E. Lee's game worn uniform, I guess. So.
Yeah, so this one, these are player cigarettes. These were the 1920s. They got a bunch of these well before that.
Yeah. I do have a early on University of Virginia. It looks like a rug, but it's about this big.
Yeah, so it'd be a cloth. It'd be one of the
Yeah,
little cloths.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was shocked at how cheap that was when I got it.
Oh yeah, they're flags. Like they're neat.
Yeah.
Like for me, I found a couple of these on ComC and stuff like that. Like you can get
But
the
you're
stuff
sitting
dirt
here,
cheap.
when you hear how old it is, your mind automatically thinks of certain numbers, right? And then they tell you some stupid, ridiculous low number, and you're like, I will take them all. Like you're like, wait a minute. All right, so pretty cool. Once we get into Disney and such difficult, there's a ton of things with images on them for backing it. Yeah, definitely is. And also different cards from around the world. Like I said, I have some older cards from the Netherlands and Dutch cards, Switzerland.
Oh, you got to watch out. The Dutch are invading. The Dutch are
Yeah,
taking over. They're everywhere.
I was waiting for a comment with that. So, I got Batman and, Batman there. So talk about character cards. Which iteration of Batman are we talking about? Because I love 66. So I have the first 66 set. I have it completely graded. The Black Bat series. I like to get the red and the green. They are on my list. But I have the Black Bat series whole set graded. But that is not the first Batman card. There's Batman.
Oh, yes, it is, Scott. Scott, I will die on this hill. There is only Adam West Batman. I reject all other Batman.
I'm with you on that. I have a little miniature replica scowl of him, and yeah. So, but definitely when you start getting the character cards, especially stuff that's been drawn for years, the cartoons and stuff, so many different. I mean, is Mickey the first mouse? He's really not. Steamboat Willie predated Mickey Mouse. That's what Mickey turned into. So, it's things like that. It's really crazy. This was something I was not looking to talk about tonight, but thank you, Wrestling Card Father. This has been very, very interesting. And I'm
never fight it, Scott. The diversions are the best. As soon as you get the diversions, that's the best stuff.
I was trying to get Ed on, and this is one of Ed's, I dare say, specialty.
Well, that and the Cap Ants and Super Collection.
Cap Ants, but him and Smooth, they are my non-sport guys that I go to with my questions. And Ed has gave me great advice especially on autographs for this. Even though when we started talking about it, it was definitely two different hobbies, but everything's starting to fall in line on how sports cards are hobbied, right? And what do I mean by that? So in the non-sports world, if you wanted an autograph of a certain character, you didn't care what number or color or whatever. You liked the card, you got that autograph, you wanted the autograph, right? But now it's starting to get more like, oh, it's a 1 of 1 or 1 of 15, so the prices are going to go up. Are you buying the autograph? Are you buying the number? Again, it's starting to get more into what we do in sports cards. So it's kind of changed a little bit on how people hobby there. So, and I'm sure once they started putting numbers on cards and stuff, it kind of started changing on its own. But yeah, great question, great topic to get on. But I really wanted. I asked this question. I asked it on Carlos's channel before, and I kind of wanted to ask. Again, got a good group on here tonight. Does anybody actually collect the way they do as a kid? I know I don't, and I'm glad I don't because it's too hard. But I was when I was a kid, I wanted to buy them all. I was a Pokemon hunter without Pokemon. I wanted to catch them all. I would sit down and handwrite the set numbers and scratch them off and want to get the whole set. And Thank you, Warren. Have a good day at work, buddy. Have a good work week. Contact me if you want to come on, man. I'll get you on. And you know, how much have you changed, Carlos, since you were a kid to now? How you collect?
Oh, it's not even close. It's not, there's nothing about it that matches. Realistically, so there's like distinct phases of collecting. The very beginning was just getting, it's accumulation. It's just getting everything. It's just hoarding stuff and just picking up stuff here and there. And there was no rhyme or reason to it. There was no pattern. There was even sets and stuff. I'd do a little bit for sets, but I wasn't that interested. I wasn't interested in really change. That's why I hesitate. I only do a little bit small sets today because I don't like getting cards of players or people that I don't care about. That's just not interesting to me. So what happens is then I go, okay, well, if I'm not going to do that, then what am I going to do? So, and I collected vintage for years. I did a lot of that. I did a couple of sets for that, and I still have a couple of sets that I will do for that. So I still have that aspect of it. But that was already a couple of years in, Scott. That's already like 5 or 6 years into collecting. I'm accumulating for a while. And then I started going, okay, I'll do a couple of sets here and there, a little bit of that. But then when I get into player collecting, which is right around that same time, 5 or 6 years in, then that gives me a direction. That gives me like, okay, so what I'm going to do is it's what I told you a moment ago with the Vladdy Jr. thing. I'm not interested in getting all the Vladdy Jr. cards in the world. I'm interested in grabbing a couple here and there that interest me. That Planetary Pursuits, I like the cards. I think they're interesting. If I can get all 10 at some point, I will. I just don't want to pay too much because I don't think it's worthwhile. However, I'm going to get as many as I can. And if down the road it becomes available, some of the tougher planets that are great, I would love to have all 10. That'd be awesome. That'd be fun. That'd be a fun little collection to put together. But it's these mini projects. That's where today is. Today is the mini projects and having certain specific themes. I don't need everything. I would be happy to grab that 10, and then I'll do a couple of cards for Soto. I'll be picking for that. Brett Favre, I love collecting those cards too, but I don't want everything. As a matter of fact, I'd rather sell. Right now, I've got a box full of Favres. I'm going to sell 3 cards for everyone that I'm going to pick up going forward. The goal isn't to have all. The goal is to have the ones that I really like and the ones that I want and have it a nice, concise collection.
Right. And that's what I'm doing right now is selling stuff that doesn't fit my idea of what I want for my collection. I have about, I don't know, 8 baseball players that I keep, 4 that I actively look for cards for. And what do I mean? I like to open packs. I talked about this yesterday. That's my entertainment. I don't consider it gambling as much as other people do. I don't even consider it gambling because I consider it my entertainment. I know gambling is a form of entertainment, but I like the cards. So I just might not get the cards I want every time, but I bet you I'll find something in every pack that I really like. And so I know it's better to buy singles, and I try to stay that way. I have really cut down on how I don't buy hobby. I don't do all this. Like I'll pick up retail when it's there. If it's stuff I don't want at retail, I just don't buy it to buy it. But if I like it, I'll pick it up. But now I'm really getting into the selling part of, but it's going to have, I have an end to it. I'm not going to just buy stuff to resell. I don't do that. So, but I have bought stuff that I am reselling because my way of hobby changed, or the player I'm just not that interested in. They don't hold my attention anymore or whatever. So I do change, and I'm like you. I did start player. I had the thing to pick up sets, but I never put my cards in sets. Does that make any sense? Like, it was fun to open up packs and scratch off numbers to see if I could get the set by buying, rack packs or whatever. But I never put the set together. Does that make sense? Like, I always kept my cards by player in alphabetical order the whole time. So I always kind of I like to have my players together because especially, I grew up in free agency. So when players change, I thought that was pretty cool. I thought, they're playing on a different team. Now, when it was my player that went to another team, it sucked. But the thought of, picking up a Ricky Henderson and seeing him on 15 different teams in my stack of cards was pretty cool, I thought. So, and you get that last card with all the info on the back was really cool. Things like that. And some of that I miss, man. I don't miss getting the floor because I can't get up anymore. But every time I go through what Scott's talking about, I regret it. Collect something, get bored, and sell it later on a wish, and I had just kept it. I have yet sold something and said, I wish I kept it. Because if I'm thinking that way, it's just I'm going to keep it. I had a Carlos will tell you him and Bobby Friday night. I talked to him about a card, and I had the mindset, is it a player I like? No, but I didn't have a good price in my head, and somebody was asking me. Seemed like a to sell it, but I'm also a collector, so I was all right with keeping it as well, even though it's not a card or a player I keep, right? But it's a cool card. I ended up selling it today and making some money off of it. But, that's just my mindset right now. So if that makes any sense, I hope it does. But always, because the reason why I'm asking, and we bring this up, or, sports card nonsense, some of these other groups, it's almost like nobody collects to collect. Like, it's always about how much is this card? My so-and-so opened this up. How much is this card? I can't find any information on it. Well, do you like it? Do you enjoy it? What do you keep? That's what I want to have this conversation with them, because that really intrigues me. I'm like, that mindset of, do you even like cards? What are we doing here? And most of that is here, see what I got, because without saying, hey, see what I got. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I hit this big card. I don't want to tell you I hit this big card. How much is it? Are you willing to give me that for it? So that's what it seems like to me. Zach, Scott tries so hard to convince us he's not a flipper. We know
it's so true. It's so true.
I am a flipper. I will be the first. But see,
Flipping Scott 35. Flipping Scott 35 lives.
I am. My whole thing is, yes, I'm a flipper and I embrace it, right? But I'm not a flipper where I am trying to get every nickel and dime out of everything. I will meet somebody as long as they're being honest about it and come at me, hey, Dave, my love for the rookies is the same as a kid. That's cool. And Dave, I sent you a link if you want to get on. I love trolling Sports Card Nation or nonsense with that general idea. Yeah. I read it, and I've left a few messages on there because I can't believe what I'm reading sometimes. And yeah, I think it's built for trolling, very much so. Even though they say they kick those people off or whatever. But here lately, I've been liking some of the product. I'm getting back in love with some of the product. To me, Carlos, here lately has been bland in the last few years.
Okay.
Some of it still is. The Bowman looks like Bowman every year. You could tell a Bowman card a mile away. But like today, I showed you that football because I thought that was something different. Even though it was familiar to me from somewhere else, it was something I liked. So I really enjoyed that product. I was really happy with that. Like I said, I love football, but I'm not much of a football collector. But that made me go, darn, I might pick up another blaster of this. And that's what they need to think about, is somebody like me that might spend an extra $30 when I go to the store to pick something up because you put out a good product and not the same old shit. And I wish they would think more of that, because Topps this year, it's okay. I haven't really liked it. I know a lot of people did like it. I think it's too busy. I wish they could just go back to a very base formula of pitcher, player, team colors, whatever. But is there anything that's now, do you think maybe we're turning a corner back to maybe a little bit of 90-ish where we're getting a little bit better with cards now? Or is it just something I'm just throwing out there?
I think they're just randomly throwing stuff at the wall and hoping something sticks. And if you're sensing a 90-ish theme, Scott, it means they ran out of ideas. And one of the guys in the design department said, "Find something." And then they went on eBay and just like, okay, take this component and add this component.
That makes sense.
They're not thinking through anything. They're just, whatever's the laziest that gets the job done.
Yeah, I just really enjoyed it. It was a pleasant surprise. It was when I opened it up because usually I'll look it up. Somebody has opened up. I'm sure they've had 4,000 breaks already of this product. So, but I just haven't seen it, and because I don't get football on my For You page or whatever they call it. I went to Sports Card Nonsense trying to figure out a value on a rare card. Everyone just saying I'm fishing, very little help. Yeah, Zach, you're not going to get. Well, that's because a lot of people are fishing when they go on.
Well, I was about to say, yeah. For if you're in that Facebook group, the majority of the people they're like, they'll do this. One of my favorite moves. I just pulled this, not for sale or for trade, but I'm curious what you guys think it's worth. Well, if it's not for sale or for trade, why do you give a shit?
Right.
It's $1. It's worth $1. You should burn it.
I got this Shohei Ohtani. How much is it? I couldn't find anything on eBay.
So that's always my favorite. My favorite point. So Paul, I know, has I think he's got an image or whatever. He and I've seen it before. He showed it on the Discord that I'm on there with him. He's got either an image or he's got something that he's got saved, where he basically just tells them to go to Google.com or to eBay.com and search. He basically just tell them, go look it up yourself.
Right.
Yeah. The information is there, by the way, and it's free.
Yep. What does it say? A lot of people in that group are in disbelief when I tell them Sports Card Nonsense is the name of a podcast. I thought the podcast, it runs that group. I thought it was the same people.
No, the podcast predates the group. Sorry, the other way around. The group predates the podcast.
Oh, I thought it was the same people.
Well, it is the same people, but I'm saying the group was there for a while, and then the group was part of the reason that they were able to get on the Ringer.
Yeah.
And the Ringer being with Bill Simmons and everything, that's where they were able to get. So they've never really hit a lot of traction on YouTube, and that's something Gio complains about all the time. And I go, well, part of it, they've got this big old Facebook group. But the reason why the Facebook group thing is, it's that's cool, but you basically have 30,000 idiots. It's a bunch of morons. And most of them have no idea. They don't even know. If half of these people went onto your YouTube numbers would be amazing. Literally amazing. So I'm sure a bunch of them listen to the audio, but they're not clicking on the YouTube. So you pretty much have to rely on the audio podcast.
Paul says he sent it over on your Discord.
Yep, I got it. Yeah, so there's a couple of good ones here. So I'll kind of show you. So here's one of the images he sends. Well, actually, I'll send it to you on Instagram. Hold on, I'll send it to you on Instagram.
Put it up there.
Well, the problem is that it's just going to look like a bunch of white on the screen. It actually doesn't show up very well. Oh, you see that one for eBay search?
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, so that's one of the images they send, and then he's got another one as well, which is step-by-step guide. What's it worth? And in the step-by-step guide, it literally shows you how to go to eBay. You can tell there. It shows you how to go to eBay.com. It's all the steps.
That's funny shit.
Yeah, so basically he's got those pre-saved, basically to send to those people to be like, look it up your fucking selves. Just look it up yourself. 5 seconds. Go look it up.
Yeah. And I mean, or literally find a comp. And what is a comp? Something that's like it. That's what I did with that other card. Or you use a multiplier.
Yeah. And here's the thing. A lot of people try to make it this overly complicated. So I'll tell you, Scott, as we're having this conversation right now, I told you already about that whole Planetary Pursuit thing. I was looking up one of the ones that was on that list with the Vladdy Juniors, and I've made the guy a couple of offers. Always rule number one. Always rule number one, Dom. Always. So I went and looked it up, and I looked up what the general price point was. I was willing to pay around what the last couple sold for, but I kept making offers, and it was like auto reject. eBay now does this thing, by the way. This is kind of funny to me. eBay now does this thing where they go, pricing insights. If you make an offer of this amount, it may go through. And literally they fucking tell you what the minimum is. They literally tell you what the minimum is that would not get auto reject. And the way I know this, Scott, is that it says if you make an offer of $131.01, I'm like, that is super specific, sir. That is so specific. You are literally, I'm like, yeah, Mr. eBay, this is some shady business from you. So I literally made an offer of 132 and it went through. I'm gonna go fine. And then the guy came back at me one more time. And I go, look, I'll just give you 135. Let's just be done with this foolishness. Accepted, card purchased. So now, Scott, I am the proud owner of a Planetary Pursuit Mars.
Nice.
Mars.
Nice. So here's what you're talking about. We can see it much better.
That's right. Yep.
Very
all the
funny.
steps. All the steps are there, man.
And,
that's legit, though. That's the steps.
Step by step, you know, very funny. Paul is a funny son of a bitch. He's a funny guy. Knows his football. Good guy to have in your Rolodex. He sent it to me, so thank you, Paul. Yep. Great stuff there. So that Facebook group is a good example of a bunch of folks that just don't even want to try the minimum. Look, again, I'm against effort, but even then, if I want to know the answer so damn badly, I don't even want to bother going onto a Facebook group and typing it. I don't care. Paul said, pull up the first one.
Read the last step.
All right. Whoops, not that. What is that? Limit 1 coupon per person, 1 item per coupon, not to be. What's that say?
Sold or given away by any third party.
To be used within 12 hours. Okay. All right, Paul. Thank you very much for that. Good comedy. Funny guys. If you cannot find a comp, find your trash can, open it up, put your cards aside, and find a new hobby. Gotcha, Paul. That's hilarious. And also it's just your card, man. What do you want to sell it for?
Well, so the thing is, Scott, they don't actually want the card, and I don't even have a problem with that. If they don't want it, they don't want it. But at the same time, it's the whole point of this entire conversation, of that portion of the conversation, was that if you want to sell it, well, then you got a choice. But if you're asking a bunch of other random people to do the work for you, then you should get all the crap they want to give you. I'll be honest. Get used to getting absolute crap from the group because you deserve it. You're being too lazy. I don't care. Even as a lazy person, I got to go look my own stuff up because I need to know the answer for myself. And that way I'm confident in whatever I'm offering or whatever the case may be.
Zach, I don't like posting best offers. If you message me, I'll negotiate maybe, but if I list that at OBO, I'm just saying I'll take less. I like posting for what I truly wanted. I thought that way too, Zach, but now I've gone, I do the $20 over, and if somebody buys it for that, awesome. But now I have negotiating room, and then that person feels like they're winning, and I'm selling it for what I really want to get out of it. So you're seeing that more and more at card shows. You're seeing that where people are like, oh, they're so overpriced. Well, that's the negotiation tool. So when you come up and you don't want to pay sticker and you come in whatever low, they have negotiation room. So you're starting to see that more and more. That's internet's great by pulling us closer, but it also gives away all of the people want to tell their secrets or not secrets, just going to give out ideas, and they're watching too, so everybody's allowed to watch and do things. So that's my little piece of advice, Zach, is to do it that way. And I know other people are doing it. So, and you got to remember too, on eBay, you got, eBay fees, and if you really want to get out of it what you want, you got to think about that as well. So.
Yeah. Well, I think and there's a lot of folks who just don't want to take a loss on anything. They want to somehow figure out a way. They need to feel like they win. I've sold some stuff where I end up losing a little bit on it, but then I got my money back for it and I bought something else and then I made my money on that. Just move on. I don't want to sit there with a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think what's always been kind of funny for me, I enjoy the concept of dealers who then talk about collections. Say, oh, you got a nice collection here. That's not collection, that's inventory. Inventory is the thing you're going to sell. A collection is the thing that stays in the box. Inventory sell, collection stays in the box. It's not a collection, it's inventory. What's in that dealer showcase is not a collection, it is inventory.
Yeah, that's so my LCS in Iowa. I asked the guy that owns it. I went there quite a bit. It was like the neighborhood barbershop. People hung out in there, conversated. It was same group of people in there all the time. Plus, people. And on the weekends, it was busy because they built a hockey arena and they had a lot of hockey tournaments there. But anyway, he has a once a month show there too. And I asked him because he's got a lot of good stuff in there. And I was like, do you have a personal collection at home or what? He goes, nope, this is it. And he goes, everything's for sale. He goes, once you start running a business like this, it's kind of hard to have a PC. So it's all up for sale. So I found that interesting and a little disappointing. I felt a little heartbroken but that's what he enjoyed. And he's been doing
but I'll pose the question, why? He's a dealer. Yeah, it's all for sale.
Yeah, that's what he likes. And I don't know, because I always feel like I get such a joy out of this hobby collecting that when somebody doesn't, they get their joy from another way. And I've learned that. So, and he said he started in college and never looked back. So good. He's a really good guy. He works with people. He's good kids. And he knows his market. And it changed while I was there. I've talked about it before. I went there, it was very football heavy. And then it turned to basketball while I was there. And I think most of the hobby did. And then he got that hockey arena and he needed hockey cards. So me and a couple other people, when we went out to other shows, we were bulk buying hockey for it. Mm-hmm. So, very good guy. I liked helping him out. He can't get, now he is somebody that cannot get, I don't know if he's still that way, but he cannot get hobby boxes. He just, he can't get anything. So
the allocation?
Yeah. So he always had to go through somebody else. So that person had to make money off of it, or he put money in with that person sometimes to get it. But it always seemed kind of high. And I always bought it from him just to, it was a little bit higher at that time. It was before COVID and all that. Mm-hmm. But, it was, I try to help him out. And even, me and him talked about it before where I was about to start helping him buy cases and start making a little money in the store with him, but moved. So, and also COVID happened and all that stuff. So,
right.
Then it got crazy.
Sure.
But that's where I really learned about allocation and the games that the people that do that bulk selling, you have to buy this other crap for me to sell you the stuff you really want. I've seen at another place, a guy would try to buy 5 cases and they said they had 2 cases. Then the day they were mailing them to him, we got the other 3 cases and try to sell it to him for 4 or 5 times more than with the first 2 cases he bought from him. Yep. So that was going on too at the same time. So I got to peek behind the curtain for a little bit out there. Very interesting.
That's been So I am finding. So maybe I'll throw this one at you, Scott. I am finding one of my little pieces of entertainment has been watching different podcasts or vlogs or whatever, where there's a handful of people that are getting these things and they're starting to learn that. So kind of like what you're talking about, the wave 2 and the thing where you get the distributor and the distributor has you'll get your allocation, but then the next one will be 40% higher or 50% higher. And then suddenly the prices escalate like crazy. And then there was one where I kind of had a little bit of fun with it. I was telling Dan, it was hilarious to me to watch the shock. Wait, So you're saying that the dealers before the show buy cars from each other? Yes, they do. This has been going on for 40 years. This ain't new. And then, tried to kind of talk around and go, well, yeah, but it happens more now. It's like, yes, because there's a lot more of these sets and these things that people, there's also those repackers that walk around. There's a lot more stuff that you can sell. Yes, Scott, we've accelerated everything. We've 10x everything, but that shit was going on 40 years ago. This ain't new. That car has been bought and sold 5 times before you ever walked in the front door.
Yep. Yeah. Shoot, where was one year at the National? Was it 2 years ago? And they said, the dealer said Tuesday was their best day. And they won't even open yet.
Correct. Totally. Oh, Scott Lowe, can we be serious for just a moment? Just be serious for just a second. Just for a moment.
Yeah, you do it.
If you're a dealer and you have paid X amount, whatever it is for the table, and you traveled or whatever, you brought your inventory, whatever it is, and you have a dealer that comes over and says, hey, and by the way, it's not like you're selling it to the guy for 50% of your sticker price. So you're selling it to him like for whatever is an appropriate amount. He comes by and he says, hey, I got a buyer for a bunch of this stuff. Scott, I will buy this entire showcase off of you for like 95 of what you're asking for and 90%. And you're sitting there looking, and you're looking like, okay, I know how much I paid for whatever. And you look at it and say, like, I could make 20 or 30% on each overall on this entire showcase. And it basically pays my show. No, you know what? I'm going to turn you down. No, I need to let the collectors buy it. No, Scott, you take the fucking money and you've already made your show. And then you're good to go for the rest of the show. You can buy stuff, you can sell stuff, but you have the comfort knowing you paid yourself back already.
That year, I think it was the first Chicago year. Now that we're having, no, it wasn't last year. It was year before at Chicago. So Zach says, my LCS owner, as a kid, told me he doesn't collect. If he started collecting, he wouldn't be a dealer and have to go get a real job he didn't love. Yeah, that makes sense. Stu, Tuesday is a great day for many dealers at the National. I hope to find a few deals this year for my dealer pass comes through. There you go, Stoops. Then come out and give it to me. I'll be there Tuesday. Let me go ahead.
Yeah, but fair's fair. But all I'm trying to say is just being serious for like I said, being serious. I'm not going to blame them. I'm not holding it against them because look, you're paying X amount to do whatever. I hope that you are able to get your money back because that's the point. That's the reason you're there. The dealers will be there. Some of the better dealers, the best ones are the ones who are willing to engage you. They're willing to have the conversation. They're willing to they would like to build customers for life. And those are the best ones. But they also want to make money, Scott. Even those guys want to make money ultimately. That is the job that they are there to do. They're not just there to socialize, Scott. They are, in fact, there to make their money.
Yeah, and you can't blame them for it's a business.
Correct.
They pay to get there, to pay, and it's costing more. Even if they get the hookup across the street, they're not getting the hookup that they used to get. I know they're paying more for the hotel rooms. So, it costs money. So they got to make it. If they can make it on Tuesday, why not? Like Correct. You said, then it could just sit back, relax, and then make deals with people. And
exactly.
And because of that, and because I am not so, my collection is so diverse, that's why I almost wait to buy anything till Sunday, and I find great deals. It's just the way it works. But I usually buy throughout. But Sunday, I'll wait and see what's going on. I make sure I'm there for the last day of most bigger shows for that reason. Local shows, not so much, but bigger shows, I like to do that, especially travel where people have to travel. The dealers that are most ambitious will be the first ones to set up on Tuesday and ready to sell. Yeah. So the year that it was at AC, the last year was at AC, I was lucky enough to get in there on Tuesday. So
back in 1 second.
Yes. And I was happy to and walked around, and I wasn't expecting to, so I didn't have my cash with me. But man, there was people. It wasn't like a lot of people, but it was a lot of YouTubers and a lot of people I recognized in there. I got to talk to people. That was my first year. I met Peter from SGC. I was with Bobbles, so I got a little insider there. Got in. Refractor Jones got us in. So very, very cool. You know, that was a fun time just to see a little bit of what, again, a peek behind the curtain. And I did feel a little special, you know, not short bus special, but special as in special person. But so that was nice. So as always, Stuke, are you selling this year at the National? I don't think you usually set up. You just go on with a friend that has a setup, because I know they're very limited on how many dealer passes they're handing out. So that was. Are you setting up this year, Stu?
Can I pose a question while
while
he's answering that? One of my favorite things, and I saw a couple more, and we were joking about it on the Discord a little bit for a moment. The epidemic now of people who previously had media credentials not getting media credentials. And Scott, it is one of my favorite things. Literally, Neo challenged me. Goes, so when are you doing the docuseries on all the people that are you know, he didn't phrase it this way, but he goes, when are you doing the docuseries on all the people that are butthurt that didn't get media credentials? I go, I would love to. It'd be my pleasure. It's great.
Oh, okay, nice. Well, I can't wait to see you there, man. I know because of that, a lot of people are not going, because they're not getting the hookups and they're not getting the hotel, you know, the hotel across the street and all that stuff. They can say what they want, but you should have heard. Ed will be the first one to tell you, and he does. The conversations we heard at Cleveland, Cleveland sucks, and then we go to Chicago next year. It's the same thing, because you got to drive to it or get somebody to take you there. It's a lot of the same things. And actually, Cleveland is better because the place where it's at is better. So where it's at in Chicago is not really set up very well for this show.
Counterpoint, Scott. I've been to Cleveland. Cleveland's not better at anything. Stop it. Get some help. Just stop it.
The actual center was better. I have
adorable. Don't care. It's still Cleveland. Adorable. Don't care. It's still Cleveland. And I enjoyed the Football Hall of Fame, but to be clear, it's Cleveland. Stop it. Get some help. You could literally have Chicago could be surrounded by toxic sewage, and it might still be better than Cleveland.
Actually, you know what the best venue has been? The actual venue itself is Atlantic City. But to get to it,
you have to go through the barren wastelands. You have to go through basically Mad Max.
There is no good section.
No.
There's one section, and that's it. As soon as the sun goes down, good luck. And I mean, everybody went. It's the same thing. I mean, the dealers, they know it. That's why they're not going. Well, as of right now, we're not going back. I'm interested to see what Detroit is like in 2 years. As a new venue, but you know, I wish they really would have done Atlanta this year. The reasoning, just stupid reasoning, but I wish they just would have did it. It works for the collector's show, and that's huge.
I think Scott, I just think they did it to spite Carl. I think that's the reason they did it. They heard about the Burrell's hate. They did it to spite Carlisle, and they did it because they know about Bobby's hatred of Atlanta.
Right.
Like his long-standing hatred of Atlanta. I think those two things played right into nope, Atlanta never again.
Stu says Atlanta in 1999 had a very few customers, but national standards, it's easy shopping.
Yes.
But that's because I mean, my first few nationals, I thought it was very easy to get around. Now, you know, Friday evening, Saturday during the day was packed on the first few I went to. But I don't think they were that bad. And then when they started opening up more sections, you know, got loose, and then all of a sudden it went nuts the first one after COVID. So it was like the chains came off. So
I was about to say pre and post COVID are two completely different stories. Like pre-COVID, a lot of those shows were probably fine.
Yep. I'm sure this is Card Collector too. Dallas Card Show blogs. He's in there when most dealers are still wheeling in there. Yeah. And you know, I as most people know, I collect video games as well. and play them a lot. And their shows, the people, they have a lot of invite guests. They invite a lot of YouTubers, content creators to their shows.
Sure.
So they get in with the dealers same time, but there's only a handful that will buy, and they're the flippers and stuff. The most of the content creators, because they know how bad it looks, they will not buy anything before the doors open, and they won't buy during the VIP opening either. They wait till the general public comes in, because they know if somebody catches them on video or something, it's going to be a terrible look for them. So, just throw that out there. We lost the Flames because of that guy.
I know.
Oh,
I hear you.
Now it's a pretty easy show to get a dealer pass. Okay.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. It would be great content if someone just had the list of people who got left off.
It's pretty extensive. The list is getting pretty extensive. That's the reason, Scott, that joke was made. The reason the reason Neo made that joke is that while Neo would probably, this is my opinion, while he would love to make that video, he'd get raked over the coals. But if I make that video, okay, come for me. Like, I don't care.
Did Neo get a pass? A press pass?
Yeah.
So we're waiting to see if Mike O gets one. And that would be really funny, because, to be honest, a lot of guys that didn't get one, they shouldn't. Their coverage of the show is very minimal. Yeah. Especially before the show. But the National doesn't really need any pub.
So Scott, thank you for saying that, because that's what I was about to get to.
Yeah,
we'll go back to let's put our business hats back on for a second.
Yeah,
the National, the same National that people whine and complain that it has now become so busy, it's so corporate, it's so huge, and you're sitting there going like, oh, well, why don't they give out these media? Yes, because they need more promotion. That's what they need. And not only that, Scott, they need more promotion from guys who will make like one video before the thing, talking about you're not drawing a single additional eyeball. You're not drawing one single person. People can watch the video, but none of them are buying a VIP pass to the National because of your video. They don't care about you. And by the way, Scott, to be honest, if you're being serious and you're in that office, you shouldn't care about these people. You want in, buy your fucking pass like everybody else.
And make the content you did when you were buying it before, because you're probably making the same content when you're buying your ticket before.
Yeah, your content didn't get any better. It didn't change. Yeah. It didn't improve. You didn't make more videos suddenly after. No, so why would they waste one of those on that?
Yeah, because I feel the one thing I do feel for Victor, because he waited so late, he didn't get a VIP pass. And I was going to text him. I probably should. He needs to be careful, because those are not transferable.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's associated to a specific channel or whatever.
Before you do buy one, you need to contact the National to make sure it's okay, because they're trying to stop scalpers. Because a few years ago, people were buying them up and selling them on the secondary market. So they they stopped that quick. Paul, they're damn near tripping fire hazards for a number of people inside. They don't need more. So Paul, it really doesn't. They're still going to go. These people they still want to go. They just want the free pass.
No, but Scott, that plays into that point though. Yeah. So number one, from the Nationals' perspective, so you're saying that you're offering me nothing, but you want this free thing from me. How about no? And then you're still going to go anyway, or you're not, or whatever. It's up to you. You do whatever you want. But ultimately, Scott, from a business perspective, I don't disagree with their decision. Maybe they could have done a better job communicating out to people why and how they're going to do all that, Scott. Maybe be more transparent about that. But I don't disagree with the decision. The decision's not wrong.
So, Zach, I have a funny feeling they didn't give out as many VIP passes this year. I don't. I think it's a numbers game, and because they sold out so fast, I just don't think they did. Because last year, I don't think they broke attendance last year. It's a very iffy subject. If you were there Saturday afternoon and Sunday, there were tumbleweeds blowing around in there on Sunday. And I know it's like that on Sunday, but again, I feel bad for people that only go on Sunday. It's not the same show. I know it's a long week. I know it is, but it is. So I feel bad for them. But I can't wait to see what happens because me and Ed are on different sides of this seesaw. And the seesaw's yelling. It's creaking with me and Ed both on it. But it's just, it's going to be a fun one to see. Could you imagine if National messaged some of these people and said, "We watched your content; it sucked. No pass for you."
I would appreciate that. I think that'd be awesome. That'd be amazing.
I wish I would do that content. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Now he comes on. What's up, buddy?
Sorry for jumping on late, Scott, but
no, that's okay.
I figure I hop on right now.
Well, I saw y'all were busy messaging in our group chat, so I can't wait to see what that is. When was the first year of the new owners? Did they affect them? Last year was their new year. It was our first year, and I would say they extremely changed how things are going. Yes, extremely.
Yeah. Now, one thing I would throw in there, just to your point, what you were saying, you're saying also kind of there, is that I don't think not breaking a national record is not necessarily a bad thing.
I don't
because if they sell still a lot of tickets, they still have a lot of people, but there's a little bit more room and it's actually a little more comfortable. I think the attendees would actually enjoy it more. And I actually think that would help, actually, ironically, because being stuffed like sardines is not a good experience. I don't care how you want to sell this. Like, it's actually not a good experience for the actual people attending. So in a way, less people coming in the door would actually not necessarily be the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah, and from my understanding, it gave kind of an ultimatum to the corporate for last year's show that they better come in with the bells and whistles and stages and all that. So they're taking up even more space, having more bang there, more stuff going on. I didn't even hardly go on that over there until Sunday. I didn't even walk on that side of the building until Sunday. Ed, you missed the first half of the show. We talked about non-sport for a long time.
You didn't talk about the Knicks winning the finals and New York City being a pile of rubble?
No, we didn't talk about that non-sport. But no, we didn't talk about basketball.
That is what hour 3 and hour 4 were going to be. I was going to go to live coverage of the riots.
You didn't talk about those back pages swinging from a light pole, making etching noises.
No. And I don't need to make a video about the standard Thursday night happenings.
Yeah.
How is that different than any other week, Ed?
I'm happy for the Knicks, I guess. I could care less. I'm not a basketball guy. It's just we all knew it was going to happen. I mean, so anyway, how is Ed doing this weekend?
Ed's doing fine. I'm doing good. We have the World Cup here. The Ivory Coast just defeated Ecuador. All the Ecuadorian fans took over the art museum down here, which is like, it's kind of like a sport in jinx. A couple of teams, like opposing teams' fans, have done that before. And whenever you take over the art museum and you take over the Rocky statue, typically like bad things happen. And sure enough, the Ivory Coast got their first ever World Cup win against Ecuador.
So Stuke says, I talked to my buddy on the national committee and he knew nothing about the YouTube gathering incident. Must be the owners that dealt with it. Well, from my understanding, Stu, it was a precedent that the National set with all those hotels on that block to keep the cards out of the. They wanted the people to do their stuff at the National, not have trade nights in the places, paid for them, and they just didn't want people. They didn't want. And the hotels were probably like got together and said, we're not going to allow what happened here before. So they just got rid of it. And also that area was going to be used by somebody else. I mean, people were over there eating food that was there for somebody else.
Yeah, that space was already occupied, which
Yeah,
it wasn't in years past.
right.
And
Yeah,
you also got to factor in the huge corporate presence that was in that hotel.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That all those hotels are corporate. That's their housing for the week. That's why you can't. That's why none of us can get hotels on that road. So it is what it is, and I'm okay with staying off that road. You're not in the trap. I call it the trap. We'll eat maybe a lunch over there a few times, but we go eat dinner anywhere, breakfast anywhere. We're not in the tourist trap there. That's that area right there. So I'm all right with it.
Paul C, right on the money.
Yeah,
The Canadian man is speaking the truth here.
What's up? The riffraff that is the YouTube sports card mutiny needs to be kept away from.
That's right. Ed, have I tell the truth, Ed? Have I or have I not been basically saying this for years? It's the peasants, the YouTube peasants, that are ruining everything. Be gone.
I mean, when we were at that meetup, the look of disgust from the Heritage, Golden, BGS,
yes,
all their
fanatics,
all the people that were in there, when they got a load of us, they were like, "Get these filthy pores the fuck out of here."
Well, you know what they looked at.
Hold on, Ed. To be fair, and somewhere off in the distance, Eric is doing it. Somewhere off in the distance, he's doing it right now. To be fair, you got that same look from the McDonald's employees. It's the exact same look. There was no difference.
I just want to say, they probably looked in there and said, "This is our old customer. Where's all of our new customers?" Because there's a bunch of middle-aged white dudes in there. That's not what they were going for anymore. They want young, hip dudes.
What? It isn't young. He isn't hip. Hell, man.
It is younger than us, but most of us who were in there look more like me than Ed.
Edward is the youths with his Cap Hansen super collection.
And I was kind of young in that group that was there. So,
so wait, Scott. So you're saying like the average age was dead? What are you talking about?
No, I mean the average age was over 54.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
for Eric's math, that's dead already. It's over. It's over,
I'm already
man.
dead for a year. So
yeah, it's over.
I've been dead for a year. Didn't know it. I have to tell my boss that when I go to work tomorrow. So that is.
It was still a good time though.
I had a great time because I left. Did you?
This isn't. Scott.
Memorable.
This is not the card community talk that we're doing. You're not really exemplifying Man of Peace. Is all I'm trying to say.
Well, at that point of the day, I'm tired, I'm fat, and I'm hungry. So something's got to be done. That's just the way it is. Wait, BBC Mike isn't going and young and hip. No, those young whippersnappers can kick. Yeah, Dom, you're the next class. But Dom, you're an old soul. You're an old soul. You know it. We're okay with it. So that I can't wait to see how this national is going to be opposed to last year, because I want to see what YouTubers are not there and are there. That's the only reason I'm kind of interested to go to the get together, even though I think that one's going to get packed and people are not going to be able to get in because it's very limited space.
And then they will complain about the inability to get in and to get a space.
Yes. I'm just going to leave, and go get something to eat at somewhere else, go to Culver's and get some cheese curds. And, but that's just me. I'm not going to be all butthurt about it. Make sure Ed's ankles don't swell up 4 times the size this year, scare the shit out of all of us. But we'll be okay.
That was really bad. I definitely got better shoes this time.
Did you get comfortable shoes, Ed? Comfortable shoes?
I believe they are comfortable shoes.
I did. I bought comfortable shoes yesterday. So
Scott, don't bury the lead. The headline will read: Young Edward finally learns the value of the comfortable shoes after all the elders spoke of this.
Did you get was it the New Balance 456s or whatever they are?
That was crazy though last year. It just goes to show, like, I'm on my feet all the time when I work, and I don't have a job where I'm like sitting in a chair all day or anything like that. So I'm used to moving around and I'm used to always being on my feet for a very, very long, extended periods of time. But I don't think you truly recognize how many miles you walk over the course of the National Week. It's a lot. I remember the one time I actually did
And
have
uneven ground. It's uneven as hell in there. Like you go up these little hills and down little hills and up and down steps. Yeah.
I will say the 1 year that it was in Chicago, might have been 2021. I did have a step meter with me, and I probably did close to 60 miles through the 4 days. Which that's from like Philadelphia to Atlantic City. That's pretty far, man.
Yeah. So Dom, it says, is probably going to be walking around in Chase Utley cleats.
Hall of Fame cleats or future Hall of Fame cleats. You know it, Dom.
Dom, are you going so I can see y'all two fight again?
We didn't fight. We had a great conversation in Cleveland. It was very civil. And I did tell him at the time that Jeff Kent was going to get in the Hall. I said, I gave him sound Hall of Fame prospecting advice. I said, get your Jeff Kent rookie, get your Jeff Kent auto, get your Chase Utley rookie, get your Chase Utley auto.
I got the Jeff Kent rookie, but it was really rough wiping my ass with it.
That's a Mets card, though. Come on. You should like that one.
No, I don't. Nope. Chase Utley. Fuck Chase Utley. But anyway. Anywho, Ed, anything special this week with you? I haven't seen anything from you this week. If I remember correctly. The only thing I've seen is a clip from a show you went to.
Yeah, I did go to another show. I saw Animal and the Sniffers. That was a good show. It was only $12. Got it for really cheap. I am planning on doing another video. I did have kind of that bigger WNBA card that I was telling you about that had a really interesting process through eBay. So went through eBay authentication and it sat at the PSA facility for the authentication for like a week, which I've done eBay authentication before. I've never had to wait that long, but this took a week. Thankfully, it did go through. I mean, I'm a patient person. I can wait. And it did eventually get here. So I did get the card. Took a long time, but it did get here. So I will eventually be showing off what the card is.
The authenticator for WNBA was on vacation. That's what it was.
Apparently so.
Because that's the question. Like, if the person that's the
expert, Scott, the expert
is the term I'm looking for. Correct. Is on vacation. What happens? So,
even though it was already in a PSA slab, and it was already
Yes, dude. That's what I'm interested in. I'm waiting to see how many YouTubers are. I've been talking about this. A lot of people went to Strongsville / wherever the hell it was, Independence, wherever.
Independence, Ohio.
Went there, and then you have pretty big other shows now. Philly's huge, at least attendance wise, and it's getting the actual physical of it's getting bigger. They're gonna have
that's ran by the same show promoters too that do the national,
right. And I think they do Toronto too, right? Am I wrong?
No, you're thinking of Strongsville.
No, Strongsville is the one.
Strongsville. So this is Dallas is huge. You got the West
Shipshewana is a pretty big show for that region.
Yeah,
the Burbank show too, and
Burbank out west. Yep.
And then you got the Nashville show that's I think happening this week or next week. So some bigger shows, man, across the country. So you don't really have to go to the national. You probably go to other shows in your region. It'd be cheaper to go and still get to see a lot of the same dealers.
So, it's not a bad time, Scott, to announce that I'm not going to be going to the national. I know. I'm glad you're sitting down.
I'm glad you made it on my channel. That announcement on my channel.
Listen, I need the people to know. I had to go to the biggest venue I could find, and I thought, why not? Flipper Scott 35 channel.
That's right.
Guys, I'm sorry. I will not be at the National this year. Sorry, Ed. I'm glad you're upside down.
Man, that is.
It feels like it's getting more cooler. I don't know, maybe Carlos can talk more to this. It does seem like it's getting more cooler to like kind of dunk on the National or like throw shade at the National. And there's only two people who can do that, in my opinion. And that's one is on the screen, Dr. Carlos, because he's been consistent with that opinion.
I've been on this for years. I was on for years.
And Andy, sports card investigator. Those are the only two. Everyone else that's dunking on the National, who's just started doing it within the last year, can kick rocks.
Yeah, you're all new to this game. You can't do it. Not the style and panache that myself and my buddy Andy have.
Shriners is a great show that we're building a New England get together up for as well. Lots of opportunities to connect now. Yeah,
that's actually a pretty good. That's a good call out too, because the Shriners thing has gotten there. Look, even Eric goes to fucking Shriners. Okay,
right?
It's a big deal.
When Mike Baseball Collector was out, Carlos bailed.
He is my very first BIC YouTube content all-star. The first. Forget the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame. That any idiot can get into that. There's only 2 YouTube all-time content all-stars, and Mike Baseball Collector is the very first, and Jimbo is the second. Toughest Hall of Fame to get into.
Stu, when I was out there, they're trying to build up that show in Des Moines, Iowa. That got to be kind of big there before I left. I think it's there twice a year. I wish Profazzi was on here. I know he goes to it. It's in the basement of the arena where they play the Barnstormers play. So it's kind of a historical building, with Warner. That's where he played at stuff. So a lot of events at that stadium in that place. But it's a pretty big show. Not huge, but I know they're building it up. The amount of people not going, we could almost have another show, find a cooler city. Yeah, you're right about that, Zach. I just, it's weird that we complain that it doesn't move because no other show moves. So it's funny we complain about it, but they did it for so many years in different places. We kind of got used to going to different places. And now not doing that now for 3 years, it kind of puts it takes the a little bit of the specialness out of it. But I helped my LCS in Des Moines. It's a nice show, less than 10 minutes. Yeah, they can get bigger for sure.
I think almost a good majority of people, at least the ones that I know and the ones here in the community, I think we all universally agreed that 3 years in Chicago was a very bad idea. I think the only people that were really like in support of that was the puff piece that they put in Sports Collectors Digest when they went on the Bashing Cleveland tour.
Well, and also people forget that there's 2 other shows in that same building. Sports card shows. There's 2, what do they call the Midwest
Chicago Sports Spectacular.
Chicagoland, Sports Spectacular.
That's what you're talking about.
That's been there for years. 2 other shows, one in the spring, one in the fall. So
originally, I didn't like it being in Chicago for 3 years solely because I feel like the facility can't handle the demand of the amount of people going to be there.
So I don't think I don't. To me, I feel like the facility can. It's just not a very good setup for it when the IX or AC is so much better, or XI, whatever. Now with Cleveland's off the board, but
thanks, Jeff Bezos.
They get it for they we know they get Chicago at a very good deal, and that's what they're doing. They're trying to find where they get the best deal, best bang for their buck. Who's going to give them what? Hey, we're bringing 100,000 people to your area. What is in it for us? So
what I'm hearing, Scott, I'm reading between the lines. I'm picking up what you're putting down. What I'm hearing is the National, Saudi Arabia.
It could.
And all of a sudden,
could have-
Mike Baseball Collector comes out. He's like, "I'm back, baby!" He just slides right in. Saudi Arabia.
If TKO takes it over, it'll be there.
Stuke is definitely right about that. They need, to have better options.
Yeah,
when
and
they
I don't
vote.
think keeping it to let the dealers have the only say in the matter, to me, is kind of, we're not voting what's for dinner for the party on Friday night. We're voting for where to have it at, and I think the people that run it ought to have the say. What's going to be best for the show, not what's with the dealers.
Well, Scott, the people that run it are the ones that give them the options. They let them vote between three options. They pick the three options.
But I really think this year should have been in Atlanta. I think it would have been better off.
Oh, the dealers disagree with you. They flat out said we don't want it.
Yeah, but they still would have went. If they would have put it in Atlanta, you think those dealers wouldn't have went?
Well, but the thing is, if the dealers don't want to do it, Scott, who is voting for Atlanta? If the dealers literally don't want to do it.
That's like me going to work tomorrow and my boss decide, lets us vote on something that we're going to do at work. We don't have that vote. They tell us where the hell to go. I don't get to sit there and go, well, I'd rather go work in this section. I like it better. It's colder or whatever. I mean, they run the show. You pick where the show is. The dealers will show up. That's what I said all along. Like you can have the show wherever you want it. People are going to show up. You can have it in a 7-Eleven on the corner of whatever, and people will line up for it.
Well, but Scott, your argument works the other way around too. You're going to the National, even though it's not going to Atlanta. If they make a decree, we will never go to Atlanta ever for 1,000 years. Live with it. We're going to Chicago for the next 300 years. You're going.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people are not going not just because, but I think it makes it easier to say I'm not going because it is in Chicago for 3 years. Like I was saying, we got kind of used to it moving, and now it's not moving. Now a lot of people are grumbling because, especially the people that had the free ends, the people that could be there on the Tuesday, on day 0, and have a hotel room across the street. A lot of people got very upset. Last year, you should have heard people bitching about not having hotels across the street. That was
Scott. I believe you 100%, but I go back to my standard take. Card collectors, these people, they complain about everything. So I don't really care what they think. I don't care.
I agree with you on that. That's for sure. And I'm one of them. So
I believe the last vote that they held was between Detroit,
that's what
Atlanta, and Atlantic City, correct? There's those.
I don't think Atlantic City was in the last option. I know the first two you said for sure.
Atlantic City was because they were offering to.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? They offered renovation.
They were offering like 500. Right. They were all $500 bribe, basically.
They were like, and they were still like, no.
Yeah, they were going to pay.
Well, I heard
everybody's table and give them money on top of that. Each
when
year.
that option was available, I heard that they narrowly lost. Though it was close.
Good question, Doc. Man, if I knew you were going to be on this late, I would have sent you you got to let me know when you could be on. If there was a clear, better option, wouldn't it had surfaced already? Feels like it almost has to be built by Fanatics Empire.
Well, Dom, I already offered the better option. Saudi Arabia. Say it with me. Saudi Arabia.
Grass might not be greener outside of Chicago, or it could be. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Stu, I just think they could put it anywhere, and they could do it in Saudi Arabia, and it'll be packed.
Amazing.
They could do it anywhere, and people will go. I think Fanatics is starting to draw a little bit more people. I've heard some people on the Fanatics, which is what, the 2 weeks before, if it's not the week before. I can't. That to me is just too in Manhattan. I don't know how you can just. Well, people are saying they're going, they can afford it. I can't afford it. So,
But I'm legitimately curious, like what Doc Joe was saying. What are going to be the options for 2029? What cities are going to be offered?
Down, good point.
See, I've already improved it. That sounds way cooler. The international, that'd be amazing. So Saudi Arabia.
So what was your question, Ed? I'm sorry. I got caught with Dom. Dom said
No,
something.
just like what cities are going to be available to vote on in 2029. What Joe was saying in the comments.
Oh, I'm
there.
sure it's going to go Detroit, Atlantic City, Atlanta, whoever comes there with a package to offer.
You basically need a convention center that can allow you to book far enough in advance. That's important. You need a convention center that's big enough. That's really the important piece. So you have to have those things. So the amount of convention centers that can house, remember how big some of the national has gotten. So the amount of convention centers that can comfortably house the square footage, that list isn't super long. They're convention
And
centers.
You need
They're
favorable
very-
tax
they can
laws,
hold
of
it.
course, too.
Yes. Because otherwise you could just do it in Vegas, but it'll cost you $1 trillion.
Which is why it's not going to be there.
Correct.
And I mean, you almost have to have almost an arena size place to do it. And I mean, and if you do that, you can't go to major cities. You would have to go to a secondary city that has.
I think Dom is definitely 1,000% wrong. He's saying that he's feeling that Detroit's not going to be good. People will become crawling back. The Detroit Convention Center, state of the art. It's top 10 in the country.
From what I've
size
talked to
wise,
people, they're going to say that it's going to be the place. And if Detroit's in town baseball that week, it's going to be perfect.
rocking.
Um,
I think Detroit. It'll probably Carlos is going to really bust my chops for this, but I think this year it's going to be full blown chaos attendance wise, and you're going to see a significant strain on the convention center. Then everyone's going to be dreading next year having to go back to that sweat box. So Detroit will be the salvation at the end of the light. People will be wanting to go to Detroit because it's going to be a vastly
there you
better
go. There's Jeff.
convention center.
Thank you, Jeff. Well, we know none of us will be able to stay in that hotel. That's going to be all Fanatics and Tops and PSA.
I mean, Detroit, despite contrary belief, it's not like RoboCop. Ed 2409 is down on the corner. Okay, so it's not.
Hey, listen, and I was in Detroit in 2013, and it wasn't that far off. I was ready to see, like, when is the machine coming? When's it coming?
Where's Murphy?
Yeah, any minute now, it's coming. Listen, the good news is back then, like at the time, it's like if there had been a mudslide, the mudslide could have put out the fire. It would have been great. You just narrowly missed out. But from what I understand, Ed, they apparently have moved the ruins and replaced them with like actual buildings. So that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, Dom. I mean, that's the show is Chicago. That's everybody. The National is known for being in Chicago. And like I said, if it's there every year, one of the reasons that was fun going, it was because it was in a different place every year. If it's in the same place every year, I'd rather go to different shows that are different places than going to the one that's in the same, go to the same place. So that would make me really want to go to, out to the West Coast or Dallas or go to Toronto, that Philly, that would really push me to go to some other shows. If I can only afford to go to one show a year like that, that'll really push me in that direction. So, I'm not lucky enough like Ed or Carlos where I can just drive to a big show. I have small shows around me, but they're kind of disappearing right now too. There's not as many. Doesn't seem like there's as many as it was last year at this time. So, to me, that was the big thing with it was cool that it was going to different places. Gave me a reason to go to a different city.
That, I mean, to me, that's part of the appeal too, and something that I always like because you get new experiences, you try new eateries. If there's sporting events, baseball team there, you can go to a game, or like there's things to do in different locations. which
Right.
I thought was always like baked into the appeal of the National. That's why I said 3 years in the same place. Jesus Christ.
So Jeff, I was being nice. I acknowledge that the ruins have been moved. So I acknowledge that. I acknowledge that.
So Joe, I heard that too. And that's cool because the convention center downtown is literally in the same where the baseball field, basketball stadium, and football field are all right there, and the convention center is right there, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, all right there. Really cool downtown area in Cleveland. Great eating places. It's not bad. So if they did that, I would definitely go. I'd go anyway. But yeah, new experiences like getting shanked in Detroit.
Exactly.
Look, I mean, my man Ed almost got shanked in Atlantic City. It's just a different.
So he can get shanked in Detroit too.
Yeah, he can run from there.
He can punch it off his card.
And almost run over said assailant.
Now, Ed, you got to be careful because Detroit and Atlantic City, those are relatively easy. When you have got your punch card for getting shanked, I need to see how you're going to get shanked in Des Moines. You might have to work a little bit harder, but it is possible.
In Des Moines, Iowa.
I just need to know how committed you are. I just need to know how committed
you can go to a Slipknot concert. That's the first step.
I'm just saying. Listen, I know for a fact it can be done, Ed, but I'm going to need you to really put in a little extra effort. You're not going to be able to just coast in there and expect to get shanked. Some of these places, they'll just do it for you because you turned your head the wrong way. This one, Des Moines, you might have to work a little bit.
You could go in there and say, Angel Reese is my favorite basketball player.
Boom! Done.
Well, yes, it does, Stu. Yes,
this reminds me of the conversation that we had in our group chat the one time where we literally went through the list of convention centers by, square foot, exhibition space, and total space to see where it could potentially move to in a new location. And it's pretty easy to eliminate spots because of tax laws that are okay, well, they're not going there. They're not going there. So Vegas off, they're not paying to go there. The second largest convention center in the country is in Orlando, Florida. I would imagine if it's in Florida, there's favorable tax laws. So that's a potential spot, Orlando, Florida. Then Atlanta is actually fifth, the George World Congress Center. Which was that the venue that was being voted on?
Yeah, I think so. This is what I'm talking about. Doing it in sports stadiums, and but I'm not talking at a major. If they do that, they're going to have to go to a secondary place that has a smaller stadium, like Norfolk Scope or towns that not the major towns because they're not going to be able to afford that. But putting it in a smaller venue could work very well. Could work very well for them, and have a place for them, people to sit down and relax, and food places already built in, plenty of places to go pee and all that. Damn it, Scott! Now I want to get the 1999's promotional set for Slipknot, aka the Rookie. Yeah. Well, that was their first real big year, 1999. So, stadium big enough. We used to have Twins Fest in the Metrodome, and it held a few hundred tables.
So I gotta be honest. So Scott, here's the thing though. I think people are thinking about this the wrong way. If you think about even take a football field, I went to the Google machine just to see because I'm pretty sure there's no way you could fit anywhere near that amount of tables.
Right. Now I don't think. Yeah.
It's physically not big enough. It's just not big enough. Because you need you're pushing now 100. So for the National now, you're at probably 800,000, 900,000, a million square feet. You need a lot of square footage.
So they upsized, like I said last week, they upsized the upstairs area.
Other locations for square foot in the country, Javits Center, New York, that's not happening for obvious reasons. Then you have New Orleans. That would be an interesting spot. The America Center in St. Louis. The San Diego Convention Center, West Coast. That's not happening. And then you have in the top 10 Huntington Palace, Detroit, Michigan, which is where it's going to be in 2028. And another location, one that I've kind of been vocal on, the Walter E. Washington Convention Center. That's in Washington, D.C. I've been there before. That is a very beautiful convention center. The only problem with that area is it's in the downtown district, so hotels will probably be pricey. But Washington, D.C. has a great subway system to get around.
Yeah, we actually here we have card shows at baseball fields. The problem with concourse and stuff, they're built to have breezes blow through, right? They're breezeways. So people are steadily getting stuff blown around, and the lighting sucks because the field is bright and the darkness contrast. The lighting is horrible.
Yeah, I just think your problem is that you need you don't just need square footage, you need it to make sense for people to be able to move around the way you want them to set up there. The problem is you need 1,000 tables. You need at least space for 1,000 tables. And then I'm not even taking into account corporate space. Corporate space is going to take up a big chunk of space you want. And I'm just looking right here right now for the Donald Lee Stevens. So the way they list it right now,
not even in the top 20, right?
Yeah. They're saying like 500,000 to 600,000 square feet. So right now, to put it in perspective, this is basically the current space they've got is 2.5 times what the expo size is. Only 2.5.
It's too small, man. Too freaking small. And where's the IX Center at on that list, Carlos?
I have to look. I'll take a
number 11, baby. All these Cleveland haters.
Well, it is Cleveland, so Cleveland sucks. I don't care if you have 12 million square feet, Ed. It's in Cleveland.
That convention center helped win World War II, baby. History.
And if we use it today, you will lose World War III. So just stop it. Get some help.
I remember
main exhibition floor is 845.
And they took out the Ferris wheel. So damn it.
Yeah, well, it's double trash. Well, so according to Google, it's 845,000 square feet.
Come on, Scott. We barely got started, man.
You barely got started.
This is a 2-hour mark, man. We got to talk more about New York City burning down to the ground and TBP swinging from a light pole.
Again, Ed, that's his regular Thursday activity. Why do you want to make a big deal out about it?
This is truth, Dom. You're speaking
exactly.
Truth.
That's what I'm saying.
That is truth.
Agreed,
Dom. On that, Dom. Thank you very much for that. You've been
Dom. I know you're all about the Hall of Fame, but Cap Anson, #1 guy, that's got to be removed from the Hall. Get him out of here.
Scott, do your outro. Take 2 minutes to do your outro. You're almost at exactly 2 hours. If you take 2 minutes to do your outro, you hit 2 right on the dot.
What do you got for us before I start going? You want to talk about something for me?
Is there any possibility? I mean, Carlos talks to him regularly. Dan's Vintage. Any chance he burned down one of those school buses last night?
Ed, listen to me. I'm going to text Dan, and if he is not currently in jail with his own lawyer, I'm going to be disappointed. That's going to be a thing I'm going to be cynical about. In episode XIII of Cardboard Cynic, that man had better be getting bailed out of jail, or we're going to have words. I have expectations.
Well, he can represent himself.
That's fine. Well, and then again, those back pages, he's just doing his normal thing. Ed is trying to make a big deal out about this. Like literally, this is on those back pages Patreon. You would find out that that's happening all the time.
By the way, hopefully the Vintage Elk doesn't watch it, but there was videos, like there's a bunch of videos going around of like obviously they interview like people on the street after like a team wins a championship to get like the pulse of the fans. So many people were saying that Jalen Brunson is the greatest New York athlete of all time. Yeah, like, oh man, this is gonna be triggering for some of the Vintage Elk if they hear that statement.
Listen, I'll have you know what is the last time that Babe Ruth? I want to see him dunk a basketball right now. He's been dead for years. Not happening. That's right. That's right. Listen, from your keyboard to God's ears, Dom. From your keyboard to God's ears. This is gold, Jerry. Gold.
By the way, the national media coverage of all that shenanigan stuff last night was bad. They barely touched it. Anytime a team wins a championship, you always see it on like ESPN, the streets, or when they lose. Remember when Vancouver lost? That was all over ESPN, all over FS1. Boy, when New York won, you had to actually find the shit on the internet to see all the damage and see all the chaos.
Oh, they were too distracted, Ed. They were going to Vancouver. Like, I don't know if you realize this. With the Knicks winning the championship, Vancouver was again rioting. That's just a thing again, like those back pages on Thursdays. That's just a thing they like to do.
And I think they were
It doesn't
burning
need to
couches.
involve their team. It doesn't need
They
to
were
involve their
burning
team.
couches in West Virginia because that's
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's
And
what
somewhere
they
out there, Ed, and Ed, you're trying to divert our attention. I know what you're doing right now. You're trying to divert us because I happen to know for a fact that right now in Philadelphia, some people just randomly booed Santa Claus and tried to punch him. Why there was a Santa Claus in the middle of June, I have no idea, but he got booed and punched.
Maybe in 1968. I don't know about that.
2026, Ed. 2026, Ed. Santa Claus booed and punched.
That happened at the vet. What are you talking about? 1968. That happened in my lifetime.
The Santa Claus incident happened in 1968. It happened at Franklin Field.
It
Listen,
happened at
Ed,
the vet.
No,
Scott,
did
you
not.
got to understand, every time Ed talks about this, he goes outside wearing a welding mask. And there's literally Santa Clauses getting booed and punched everywhere, left, right, and center. There are dead Santas all over his street, strewn. And he's like, nope, that happened in the 60s. That has nothing to do with today. Nope. Carlisle has the right.
That is true, Stu.
All right,
Right there.
now we're leaving. It's after 2 hours.
We
After
made it. It's
we made
important.
2 hours. Yeah, there.
Got to make sure we make it.
Yeah. So
But we just got on the road. We just got on the road.
there ain't no road, and I haven't got on it.
Oh,
yet.
by the way, real quick, before you end this,
Jesus
you
Christ,
said
are
you can have
sure?
the national anywhere. Was that what you famously said,
I don't
Scott?
know famously, but I said it. Yeah.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button for us clearing 2 hours. Do it.
Okay. Well, I'm
Hit the like
calling
button.
bullshit on that because if the national was in the hills of West Virginia, you sure as shit would not be going there.
Well, I don't know why they would have it there, but I would chance it. I would chance it.
You jinxed it.
Look, you're making me all antsy right now just thinking of it. So now we're definitely leaving. Now we move to extended Big Sky.
Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat. Good job. Good job, everybody. Good job. Good job, Edward. Good job. Good job, everyone.
Short one.
We did it. We did it.
Well, I want to thank y'all for coming on. Chat was great tonight. Thank y'all very much. Thanks, Carlos. Thanks to Ed. Yep, trying to get people on. If you would like to come on, talk about collecting or anything else, whatever, just let me know and we can make it happen. And until next time, like, share, tell a friend. Yes, Eric is paying for the like button. And until next time, see ya.
See ya.